Once upon a time in China, there were three sisters. One loved money, one loved power, and one loved her country. My talk today is about the values of the country-loving sister, Soong Qing Ling, who was one of the most influential women of the 20th century. So before I go into the values, just a very quick introduction. Soong Qing Ling was born in 1893 to wealthy, well-educated parents. And in 1907, at the age of 15, she went to the US to study at the Wesleyan College and graduated with her bachelor's degree in 1913. And she was the third and last wife of the first president of the Republic of China, Sun Yat-sen. And the roles that she held after his death included vice chairman of the People's Republic of China when it was founded in 1949. And weeks before she died, she was conferred with the status of honorary chairman of the People's Republic of China. She was loved and respected both in China and outside, and around the world pretty much. And the author, Israel Epstein, called her a rare person with an internationalist and bicultural thinking. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you to my friends and family for being here tonight. And after reading about what people said about Qing Ling, a few themes came through as to the kind of person that she was. She had clarity and conviction in head, heart, spirit, and also the courage to pursue her values to the extent of sacrificing herself to remain loyal to them. Here are just a few examples. For example, she was still in university when China ushered in a new era. Sun Yat-sen's revolutionary efforts had toppled the Qing dynasty, and Emperor Puyi became the last emperor of China when he stepped down his throne in 1911, probably way more graciously than Donald Trump did. When she heard the news, she ripped off the dragon flag and declared, "Down with the dragon, up with the flag of the Republic." And in the weeks that followed, she had written a paper to say that this revolution was the greatest event in the 20th century. And Soong Qing Ling was also someone who was adamant that she should marry the man of her choice. She abhorred arranged marriages, and in fact, she defied her father's forceful objection to her marriage to Sun Yat-sen. What did she do? She eloped with him at the age of 23 in 1915. And this guy already has two wives and children. Of course, the wives and women had to go. He was 3 decades older than her, almost. And she's also the kind of woman that you would want, the kind of person that you would want on your camp. In 1922, for example, one of Sun Yat-sen's supporters turned against the revolution and staged a military coup on the presidential mansion. She put his life and safety ahead of hers. Whereas as the rebel troops advanced and the situation became dire, she asked him to leave whilst she stayed on. And she said, "China can do without me, but cannot do without you." Won't you want someone like that on your camp? It seems, according to the author Zhong Chang, that she had suffered a miscarriage from this incident. And she is also someone that you do not want to sabotage. In 1927, her husband's successor, Chiang Kai-shek, went on a killing rampage across China, trying to eradicate the communists. She was horrified. She denounced him for betraying Sun Yat-sen's values. She cut ties with his party, and she launched a relentless political campaign against him. And this was her brother-in-law. So that meant that sisters became estranged. All the temptations that they dangled in front of her to rejoin the party were in vain. Is the wife of the first president of China, Republic of China. And she is a very powerful woman because he brought an end to thousands of years of feudalism. And she, she is a symbol that every party wanted to have on their side. So my last example is that above and beyond all, he is a champion of women's rights and women's empowerment. And one of the many initiatives was the Women's Institute of Political Thinking. And this institute offered refuge for women who were fleeing from arranged marriages, which she abhorred, as had established earlier. And it also created the thought. It also promoted the idea that women, like men, were benefactors of China's political future and therefore had to be educated. Later in life, she wrote that Chinese women must be unshackled from the 3 traditional obediences to their fathers, to their husbands, and to their sons. So the American journalist Helen Foster Snow said that Shanghai's only golden, glamorous thing was the beautiful, brave, and lonely widow of Dr. Sun Yat-sen. She physically is a natural kind of beauty. She did not care much about material things, and she sacrificed all the luxuries and comforts that she could have had for someone of her position. And instead, like her husband, she focused on creating a better China. And that included equality and also equal quality for women. So I'm sure that wherever she's looking down from today, she would be very proud of where China is, and her dreams for women are expressed in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 5, which is gender equality. It is indefatigable people like her who live true to their vision and their values, who have the conviction and clarity in the heart spirit to follow through with courage for whatever they want. And because of that, they leave lasting legacies for people to share, like I'm sharing now. I hope that, and I wish that I have persuaded you to read more about Soong Qing Ling, because 7 minutes is not enough, or perhaps not even 7 years is enough to talk about the depth and the breadth of Soong Qing Ling. And secondly, for ourselves, I hope that we will look at the people around us and seek out those who share our values, because in shared values, there are harmonious relationships that will make everything that we want to do in life so much easier, including making a difference to society and contributing to progress in the group. And last but not least, I do a lot of work in the mission, vision, value space. So if you want to have a conversation, then just reach out. I will put my email on there. Thank you so much. Gong xi, and happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.